The Stoics were masters of understanding the human mind and relationships. They knew that discretion is not dishonesty, but a form of wisdom. Not everything about you needs to be shared. Some secrets are better kept private for the sake of harmony, growth, and self-respect. Today, we'll explore 7 secrets you're allowed to keep from her. By the end of this episode, you'll understand the balance between openness and restraint and how it strengthens relationships. Stick around until the end to uncover the most surprising secret that could change your dynamic forever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share your story if you've experienced a moment where keeping something to yourself improved your relationship. Let's dive into the 7 secrets. Chapter 1, Secret 1, the number of people you've slept with. The number of people you've been with is a piece of information that often does more harm than good when shared. While honesty and openness are essential in any relationship, some truths don't serve to strengthen the bond between two people. Discussing the number of past partners can inadvertently open a door to insecurity, jealousy, or unnecessary comparisons. For many, it can trigger doubts about how they measure up or whether they'll ever truly be enough. Even if your intentions are pure, this conversation can spark a flurry of questions. Was I just another name on the list? Do I compare to the others? These thoughts can fester, creating tension in what could otherwise be a harmonious connection. The past is exactly that, the past. Dwelling on it not only takes focus away from the present relationship, but can also anchor your relationship in a space of judgment and uncertainty. Instead of looking at who you were before, your partner wants to feel secure in who you are with her now. Every relationship is a fresh start, an opportunity to be fully present and committed to the person in front of you without the baggage of previous experiences weighing things down. What truly matters is how you treat her today. It's not the details of your history, but the actions you take to show your love, respect, and commitment that define the quality of your relationship. If she asks about your past, it's okay to acknowledge it, but be mindful not to delve into unnecessary specifics. You don't need to lie or evade, but you also don't need to offer every detail. Keep your focus on the values you've gained from your experiences and how they make you a better partner now. For example, you might say something like, "My past has taught me a lot about what really matters in a relationship, and I'm grateful for how it's shaped me into the person I am today. But my focus is entirely on us and building something meaningful with you." The Stoics provide timeless wisdom for situations like this. They teach us to focus on what's within our control and to release what isn't. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of letting the ghosts of yesterday dictate the direction of your relationship, use that energy to shape how you act and love today. What's within your control is your behavior, your attitude, and the way you show up for your partner every single day. This perspective is liberating, not just for you but for your partner as well. It shifts the focus from the past, where nothing can be changed, to the present, where everything is possible. Rather than getting stuck in a loop of comparison, your partner can see the effort, love, and attention you pour into the relationship right now. The weight of past choices becomes insignificant compared to the strength of your current commitment. It's also worth noting that people often bring up the number of past partners out of insecurity rather than curiosity. If this happens, consider the deeper reason behind the question. Is it an attempt to understand your level of experience? Or is it rooted in a fear of inadequacy? In these moments, reassurance is key. Remind your partner that she is unique, valued, and loved for who she is, not in comparison to anyone else. Her place in your life is not a replacement for others, but a role that only she can fill. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect and a shared understanding that the past has no bearing on the present unless you allow it to. While your history may have shaped you, it does not define the future you're building together. Every day, you have the opportunity to demonstrate your love and commitment through actions that speak louder than words. In conclusion, avoid letting discussions about the number of people you've slept with overshadow the present relationship. If the topic arises, handle it with care and redirect the focus to the here and now. What's important is how you treat your partner today, the love you share, and the future you're creating together. By practicing emotional presence and valuing what's within your control, you'll build a relationship founded on trust, respect, and unwavering commitment. Let the past stay where it belongs, and let the present be a reflection of the love you're capable of giving. Chapter 2, Secret 2, How Great Your Ex Was. Even if your ex had admirable qualities, comparing your current partner to her is a fast track to tension and conflict. It's important to understand that while it may seem harmless to reminisce or casually mention positive traits of a former partner, it can plant seeds of insecurity, resentment, and even self-doubt in your current relationship. What seems like a passing comment to you could linger in her mind as a harsh reminder that she might never measure up in your eyes. The comparison game is not just emotionally taxing for your partner, it's detrimental to the foundation of trust and connection you're trying to build. No one wants to feel like they're living in someone else's shadow, and bringing up how great an ex was could create an invisible competition that your current partner never asked to be part of. Imagine this: your partner begins to question whether she's enough for you or whether your heart is still tethered to a past relationship. These doubts, even if unspoken, can grow into barriers that take significant effort to overcome. Instead, focus on what you genuinely appreciate about your current partner. Make it a priority to highlight her unique strengths, qualities, and the ways she enriches your life without drawing any parallels to the past. A compliment about her intelligence, sense of humor, or kindness holds so much more weight when it stands alone, not diminished by comparisons. When you celebrate her for who she is, you affirm her value and solidify her confidence in the relationship. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound wisdom reminds us that challenges, such as overcoming the lingering memories of past relationships, can become opportunities for growth. Use the lessons from your previous relationships not as benchmarks for comparison, but as stepping stones to become a better partner. Did your ex teach you the importance of open communication? Apply that skill now. Did she show you what it means to be patient? Let that patience guide you in this relationship. However, the application of those lessons should be internal. Keep the stories, names, and qualities of past partners out of conversations unless absolutely necessary, such as discussing boundaries or life events in context. Otherwise, let the past serve as a silent teacher that informs your behavior and actions moving forward. Another important consideration is the energy you bring to your current relationship. The more you dwell on or discuss your past, the more you're channeling energy away from the present. Relationships thrive on emotional presence. Being fully engaged and attentive to your partner signals that she is your priority. When you divert your attention to former partners, even unintentionally, it can feel like emotional abandonment. One way to ensure that your current relationship remains strong is to cultivate a habit of gratitude. Reflect on what makes your partner special and unique. When you feel the urge to compare, redirect that thought into an acknowledgement of her individuality. For example, if your ex was outgoing and your current partner is more reserved, recognize and appreciate the depth of thought and empathy that often comes with a quieter nature. Every quality has its own charm, and by focusing on the positive, you build an environment of encouragement rather than comparison. In summary, avoid the temptation to bring up how great your ex was, no matter how innocent it may seem. Replace those thoughts with affirmations of what makes your current partner exceptional. Recognize that every relationship is a new chapter, and while the past may have shaped you, it doesn't define your present or your future. By cherishing what you have now and leaving the past where it belongs, you create a relationship that is grounded in trust, respect, and mutual admiration. Chapter 3: Secret 3. Family issues. Family issues are among the most delicate aspects of your personal life. They carry emotional weight, historical complexity, and, at times, unresolved tensions that even you may still be processing. Sharing these intricacies too early in a relationship or divulging them in unnecessary detail can lead to misjudgment, strained dynamics, or even the risk of having your vulnerabilities exploited. This isn't about deception or secrecy, it's about protecting both your family's privacy and the foundation of your relationship. Imagine discussing a long-standing family conflict on a second or third date. The person you're seeing likely lacks the context to fully understand the situation. They might judge you or your family unfairly, form opinions based on incomplete information, or even question your ability to maintain healthy relationships. Early disclosure can make your family's struggles seem like they dominate your life, even if that's far from the truth. It can shift the focus from getting to know you as an individual to them forming assumptions based on external factors you may not yet be ready to explore together. The Stoics were masters of prudence and timing, and they understood the power of discretion. As Seneca once said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." This wisdom reminds us that life's challenges, including family issues, are inevitable, but they do not define us unless we allow them to. By exercising discernment in what and when you choose to share, you take control of your narrative, presenting yourself as a person who is thoughtful and composed rather than overwhelmed or reactive. Early-stage relationships thrive on curiosity, light-hearted connection, and the gradual unveiling of deeper layers. Bringing family problems into the picture too soon can shift the tone of the relationship prematurely. It can place an undue emotional burden on your partner, making them feel responsible for comforting you or solving problems they don't fully understand. This isn't to say you should avoid vulnerability altogether. Rather, vulnerability should be introduced progressively as trust and intimacy naturally deepen. As the relationship grows and as mutual respect and understanding develop, there may come a time when discussing family issues feels appropriate. This timing is critical because by then, your partner will have a clearer understanding of who you are, independent of your family background. They'll be more likely to empathize and offer support without judgment or unwarranted advice. However, even at this stage, it's essential to gauge how much detail to share and to ensure the conversation remains constructive rather than overly emotional or one-sided. The Stoics also believed in focusing on what lies within your control. You cannot change the past, nor can you control the actions or decisions of your family members. What you can control is your response and the narrative you choose to share. Instead of presenting your family issues as a source of drama or distress, frame them as experiences that have shaped your character. For instance, if you've overcome difficult circumstances, emphasize how those experiences have made you stronger, more resilient, or more empathetic. Furthermore, avoid presenting your family issues in a way that invites pity or creates a victim narrative. While it's natural to seek understanding and support from a partner, consistently framing yourself as someone burdened by family challenges can shift the relationship dynamic into one of caregiver and dependent rather than equals. This imbalance can strain the relationship over time and undermine the respect and mutual admiration that form the foundation of a healthy partnership. It's also important to respect the privacy and dignity of your family members when sharing their struggles. Even if you have unresolved conflicts or strained relationships, consider how discussing these issues might affect their reputation or your own emotional well-being. Sharing too much in a moment of frustration or vulnerability could lead to regret later, especially if your relationship doesn't work out. Practicing restraint and focusing on the aspects of your family story that are truly relevant to your partner demonstrates maturity and respect for everyone involved. The Stoic principle of temperance also applies here. Temperance teaches us to find balance and moderation in our actions and words. In the context of family issues, This means sharing enough to foster connection and understanding without overwhelming or overburdening your partner. For example, if a family situation affects your mood or availability, you might simply explain that you're dealing with some personal matters and appreciate their patience. This communicates honesty and emotional transparency without diving into unnecessary details. Timing and trust are crucial in any relationship, and this is especially true when discussing sensitive topics like family issues. By waiting until the relationship reaches a level of emotional safety and mutual respect, you create a space where these conversations can unfold naturally and constructively. This not only protects your family's privacy, but also ensures that your partner sees you as an individual rather than defining you by your family's challenges. Finally, keep in mind that everyone has their own family struggles to some degree. By exercising discretion and focusing on the positive aspects of your family or the lessons you've learned from difficult experiences, you can create a narrative that fosters empathy and connection rather than judgment or misunderstanding. Sharing family issues isn't about unloading your burdens, it's about offering your partner a glimpse into the experiences that have shaped you, framed in a way that reflects your strength, growth, and resilience. In summary, family issues are a deeply personal aspect of your life that deserve careful handling. The Stoic approach to prudence, timing, and self-control offers a valuable framework for navigating these discussions. By choosing when and how to share your family's story, you protect your relationship's stability, your family's privacy, and your own emotional well-being. Let trust and intimacy guide these conversations, ensuring that they strengthen rather than complicate your connection. Chapter 4: Secret for Your Finances. Finances are among the most personal aspects of your life, and they require careful discretion, especially in the early stages of a relationship. While money plays a significant role in modern life and relationships, revealing too much too soon can lead to complications, misunderstandings, or, in some cases, exploitation. How and when you discuss your financial situation should depend on the level of trust and depth your relationship has achieved, not on premature assumptions about transparency. When you disclose your income, debts, or financial challenges too early, you risk skewing the dynamics of the relationship. For example, sharing that you have significant wealth might attract individuals more interested in your resources than in you as a person. Conversely, revealing financial struggles might unintentionally place undue stress on the relationship or make you feel judged. The Stoics emphasized prudence and self-restraint in all aspects of life, and this principle is especially critical when it comes to discussing money. The principle of temperance, a cornerstone of Stoicism, teaches us to exercise moderation in our actions and words. Your financial details are an extension of your personal boundaries, and sharing them prematurely can leave you vulnerable. Instead of divulging specifics, let your financial habits and choices speak for your character. Being responsible with your money, paying bills on time, avoiding unnecessary debts, and making thoughtful financial decisions will show your partner that you're someone they can rely on without needing to explicitly discuss figures or balances. In the early stages of a relationship, focus on building trust and mutual respect. These foundations are far more valuable than any monetary disclosure. As the relationship matures and deepens, discussions about finances can naturally occur in a context that aligns with the growing commitment between you. For instance, if you're planning a shared future, such as moving in together, managing joint expenses, or even starting a family, transparency becomes necessary. But even then, these conversations should be approached with care and mutual understanding. Oversharing financial details prematurely also risks setting unhealthy precedents. For example, if you consistently fund extravagant dates or take on a provider role without establishing boundaries, you might unintentionally create expectations that are unsustainable or unbalanced. Relationships built on material gestures often lack the emotional depth necessary for long-term stability. Instead of using your financial resources to impress, prioritize meaningful interactions that emphasize emotional connection and shared values. On the other hand, being overly secretive about your finances can also raise red flags. A healthy balance involves discretion without complete avoidance. If financial matters arise, such as deciding how to split expenses on a date, address them with simplicity and fairness. For example, rather than offering vague responses when asked about your job or lifestyle, provide enough information to satisfy curiosity without delving into unnecessary specifics. This approach reflects both transparency and boundary setting, key traits of emotional maturity. The Stoic mindset also encourages detachment from external validations, such as wealth or possessions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Your financial situation does not define your worth as a person or as a partner. By cultivating inner confidence and focusing on your character, you can shift the emphasis in your relationship away from monetary considerations and toward personal values, shared goals, and emotional compatibility. When the time comes for deeper financial discussions, approach them with clarity and honesty. For instance, if you're planning to make a significant financial commitment together, such as purchasing a home or starting a business, transparency becomes essential. However, even in these situations, maintain control over your narrative. Share what's necessary for the context while preserving your autonomy and sense of security. Practicality is another important aspect of financial discussions. Instead of framing your financial situation as a burden or a secret, focus on how you've handled challenges and successes. For example, if you've worked hard to pay off debt or save for a goal, share this as a testament to your discipline and resilience. This shifts the focus from numbers to values, showing that you're someone who takes responsibility for their life and future. At its core, the decision to share or withhold financial information is about maintaining balance and protecting your interests. The Stoics believed in the importance of managing what lies within your control, and your financial narrative is one such area. Rushing to disclose too much too soon gives away that control, leaving you exposed to potential misunderstandings or exploitation. Conversely, handling the topic with care reflects self-mastery and respect for the natural progression of the relationship. Remember, financial compatibility is about more than just income levels or spending habits. It's about shared attitudes toward money, responsibility, and long-term goals. By taking the time to establish these shared values organically, you set the stage for a healthier, more balanced relationship. Instead of leading with financial disclosures, focus on building a connection based on mutual trust, understanding, and respect. Finally, keep in mind that actions speak louder than words when it comes to finances. Demonstrating responsibility, such as budgeting wisely, avoiding impulsive purchases, or planning for the future, can say far more about your character than any dollar amount you might disclose. This approach not only protects your personal boundaries, but also helps build a relationship dynamic based on respect and equality rather than material considerations. In summary, your financial situation is one of the many aspects of your life that deserves careful handling, particularly in the early stages of a relationship. By exercising discretion and following the Stoic principle of temperance, you can protect your boundaries while fostering trust and respect. As your relationship deepens, these conversations can take place naturally in a context where transparency is both necessary and valued. Until then, let your actions, character, and choices speak louder than your bank balance. Chapter 5, Secret 5, Attraction to Her Best Friend. Attraction is an intrinsic part of human nature, one that we all encounter at some point. It's not uncommon to feel a fleeting pull toward someone in your partner's social circle, such as her best friend. However, what separates a fleeting thought from a damaging action is how you handle this situation. Attraction is not inherently wrong, but discussing or acting on it can lead to devastating consequences for your relationship. Acknowledging this attraction privately is the first step toward resolving it without creating unnecessary tension. The Stoics, masters of emotional discipline, taught us to focus on what lies within our control. You can't always control who you find attractive, but you can control your response. Allowing yourself to dwell on these feelings, or, worse, sharing them with your partner creates a fracture in the foundation of trust and security in your relationship. Self-control is the linchpin in these moments. It's not about suppressing your emotions entirely, but about channeling them constructively. If you feel this attraction, ask yourself why. Is it because this person possesses qualities you admire, or are you projecting certain unmet desires onto them? Reflecting on the source of your feelings can help you understand them without giving them power. Moreover, sharing such feelings with your partner under the guise of honesty can do far more harm than good. While transparency is vital in a relationship, not all thoughts are meant to be spoken aloud. Telling your partner that you're attracted to her best friend can plant seeds of insecurity and jealousy, even if you never intended to act on those feelings. It forces her into a position of distrust, making her question your commitment and intentions. The Stoics believed that true freedom lies in mastering oneself. As Epictetus wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Exercising restraint in this context doesn't mean you're being deceptive, it means you're choosing to prioritize the health and stability of your relationship over a fleeting impulse. By reframing your thoughts and redirecting your energy toward your partner, you reinforce the bond you share and show her that she is irreplaceable in your life. One practical approach to handling this situation is to actively focus on what makes your partner unique. Instead of letting your mind wander toward someone else, remind yourself of the qualities that drew you to her in the first place. Celebrate her individuality, her strengths, and the connection you share. This mental shift not only curbs unwelcome thoughts, but also deepens your appreciation for your partner. It's also essential to maintain appropriate boundaries with the person you're drawn to. Avoid situations that could amplify the attraction or create an environment where lines might blur. By consciously establishing distance, both emotionally and physically, you protect your relationship and demonstrate your commitment to your partner. The Stoic principle of focusing on your own conduct rather than external circumstances is particularly relevant here. You can't control how her best friend behaves or whether you cross paths, but you can control your mindset and actions. Resisting temptation, even when it feels challenging, strengthens your character and ensures your relationship remains a sanctuary of trust and respect. Think of this as an opportunity to cultivate discipline and self-awareness. Instead of viewing the attraction as a threat, treat it as a chance to grow emotionally. Recognize that fleeting desires don't define you or your relationship. What defines you is how you choose to act in the face of those desires. Each time you exercise restraint, you reinforce your ability to prioritize long-term stability over short-term gratification. Remember that relationships thrive on trust, and once broken, that trust can be challenging to rebuild. By keeping certain thoughts to yourself and focusing on actions that affirm your commitment, you avoid unnecessary conflict and ensure that your partner feels valued and secure. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Finally, consider the long-term consequences of sharing such feelings. A moment of honesty may seem harmless in the present, but it can leave lasting scars on your relationship. Your partner might begin to question every interaction you have with her best friend, even if your intentions are entirely innocent. The weight of that doubt can erode the trust and intimacy you've built, leaving your relationship vulnerable to resentment and suspicion. In contrast, exercising self-control and maintaining discretion protects the integrity of your relationship. It ensures that your partner continues to see you as someone who prioritizes her feelings and well-being above all else. This silent discipline is a mark of emotional maturity and a testament to the strength of your commitment. In conclusion, attraction to someone in her circle is not inherently wrong, it's a natural part of life. However, what matters most is how you handle it. By acknowledging the attraction privately, focusing on your partner's unique qualities, and exercising self-control, you uphold the Stoic ideals of discipline and self-mastery. In doing so, you not only protect your relationship, but also Chapter 6, Secret 6, Your Weaknesses. Vulnerability is a cornerstone of emotional intimacy, but the way you approach it can determine whether it strengthens or weakens your relationship. While being open about your struggles is valuable, constantly laying bare your insecurities can have unintended consequences. When you overexpose your vulnerabilities, you risk diminishing your confidence in your partner's eyes and, worse, handing them ammunition that could be used against you during moments of conflict. The Stoics taught us that inner strength comes from mastering ourselves, not from broadcasting our struggles. Acknowledging your weaknesses is not about hiding who you are, but about carefully choosing when and how to share those aspects of yourself. When you constantly verbalize doubts, fears, or insecurities, you inadvertently make them the defining features of your personality. This can shift the perception of your character from one of resilience to one of fragility, undermining the respect and trust your partner has for you. Instead of focusing on verbal confessions of your weaknesses, channel your energy into actions that display growth and perseverance. Let your partner see your determination to overcome challenges without needing to spell it out. For example, if you struggle with anxiety about work, instead of discussing it excessively, show her your commitment to managing it, whether through taking productive steps, seeking support when necessary, or remaining calm under pressure. This approach communicates that you are aware of your struggles, but refuse to let them define you. Vulnerability through action is more powerful than words. It demonstrates authenticity and a willingness to grow while maintaining the strength that your partner finds inspiring. The Stoics emphasized the value of quiet self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Use your weaknesses as opportunities to forge strength rather than as burdens you repeatedly highlight. It's also important to discern between sharing for connection and sharing for validation. Opening up about your struggles to foster understanding is different from seeking constant reassurance. The latter can create a dependency on your partner to soothe your doubts, which can be draining and lead to an imbalance in the relationship. Instead, focus on building your internal foundation of self-worth so your partner feels like a part of your journey rather than your emotional caretaker. Timing and context matter when revealing your vulnerabilities. Early in a relationship, avoid unloading deep fears or insecurities, as this can overwhelm or create the impression that you lack confidence. As trust and intimacy deepen, selectively share aspects of yourself in a way that builds connection without overshadowing the positive qualities you bring to the relationship. Vulnerability, when wielded with care, strengthens the bond rather than detracting from it. Another consideration is the risk of weaponization. While it's comforting to believe that your partner will never use your insecurities against you, human emotions are unpredictable. In moments of conflict or frustration, words said in anger can cut deeply, and the more you've exposed your weaknesses, the more potential there is for harm. Guarding certain parts of yourself doesn't mean you distrust your partner. It means you value your emotional well-being and recognize the need to protect it. Maintaining a balance between openness and restraint aligns with the Stoic principle of moderation. Seneca advised, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Similarly, before sharing a vulnerability, consider its necessity and potential impact. Ask yourself, will revealing this strengthen our connection or place unnecessary strain on the relationship? When you approach vulnerability thoughtfully, it becomes a tool for mutual growth rather than a source of imbalance or misunderstanding. This isn't to say that you should never share your struggles. There will be moments when revealing a vulnerability is not only appropriate, but necessary for your relationship's health. The key lies in discernment. Sharing selectively, in moments that require honesty and trust, ensures that your partner sees your openness as a sign of strength rather than weakness. Incorporating Stoic wisdom into your approach to vulnerability empowers you to take ownership of your inner world. Instead of allowing your weaknesses to dominate the narrative of who you are, use them as stepping stones toward becoming a better, stronger version of yourself. The partner who truly values you will appreciate your efforts to grow while respecting the boundaries you set around your emotional landscape. Ultimately, managing how you express your weaknesses reflects emotional intelligence and maturity. By choosing to display vulnerability through your actions and growth, you inspire respect and admiration in your partner. This subtle balance creates a foundation of trust, strength, and connection that fosters a deeper and more resilient relationship. Chapter 7, Secret 7, Dislike for someone in her circle. Disliking someone in her circle, whether a friend, family member, or colleague, is a reality you may face, but how you handle it can significantly impact your relationship. Openly voicing your dislike may seem tempting in moments of frustration, but it often leads to unnecessary conflict, forcing her into a position where she feels she must choose between you and the people she values. This can strain your bond and introduce tension that may otherwise have been avoidable. The Stoics emphasized the importance of controlling our reactions to external situations. Disliking someone isn't inherently wrong. It's a natural response based on your experiences, values, or personality clashes. However, allowing the dislike to dictate your behavior or the atmosphere of your relationship is a choice and not a wise one. Instead, focus on managing these feelings internally. Examine the root of your bias and ask yourself whether your feelings are justified or exaggerated. Often, our dislike stems from assumptions or misinterpretations rather than concrete actions. When interacting with someone you dislike, adopt a strategic approach. Politeness and respect should be your guiding principles, even if they feel undeserved. Civility doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending to like someone. It means demonstrating self-control and maintaining peace. This not only preserves harmony, but also demonstrates emotional maturity to your partner. If she notices that you're capable of managing your feelings without creating conflict, it will deepen her respect for you. Boundaries are another crucial element in navigating these situations. While it's important to be polite, you don't need to immerse yourself in interactions with the person you dislike. Limit your exposure where possible without making it obvious or hostile. For instance, if it's a friend of hers you find difficult to tolerate, you can politely excuse yourself from certain group outings while still making an effort to be present for the ones that matter most to her. Striking this balance ensures that you maintain your peace without alienating her. Seneca famously said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This wisdom applies perfectly here. Our feelings about someone often take on a life of their own, growing disproportionate to the reality of the situation. By holding on to resentment or dislike, you end up creating more distress for yourself than the person you dislike ever could. Instead, try reframing your perspective. Look for qualities in the individual that might be redeeming or neutral. While this won't necessarily make you like them, it can help you see them as less of a threat or burden. Your partner's perception of your behavior in these scenarios is also critical. If you openly criticize or act coldly towards someone she cares about, it's likely to create doubts about your capacity for understanding and compromise. She may begin to question whether your dislike is a sign of deeper rigidity or intolerance that could surface in other areas of your relationship. Conversely, if you handle the situation with grace, she'll recognize your efforts and appreciate your ability to prioritize the relationship over personal grievances. When you approach the situation with tact, you maintain control of your emotions and the relationship dynamic. Your partner doesn't feel torn between loyalty to you and her circle, and you avoid unnecessary drama. More importantly, you remain aligned with the Stoic ideal of focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses. Ultimately, disliking someone in her circle doesn't have to disrupt your relationship. By managing your feelings with wisdom and discipline, you demonstrate the kind of emotional intelligence that strengthens partnerships. The art of discretion and restraint is a powerful tool, not only for maintaining harmony, but also for fostering trust and respect between you and your partner. These 7 secrets aren't about deception, they're about wisdom and discretion. The Stoics understood that balance is essential in relationships. Not everything needs to be shared. Some things are best kept private to maintain harmony, respect, and self-worth. By mastering the art of what to share and what to keep, you strengthen your relationships and become a man of depth and substance. Now it's your turn. Which secret resonated most with you? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need it. The Stoics remind us, true strength lies in self-control. Use it wisely.